Hello, welcome back to my channel. How you all doing? So today I'm going to be having a guest on this video. Her name is Shulamite Aneto. She's a registered midwife in Nigeria and now in the UK, presently practicing. And she's going to be sharing with you her thoughts, her journey, and everything that you need to know about becoming a midwife in the UK. So I do encourage you to stick right to the end. How long do you think we will get to that level of appreciate giving total autonomy and enhancing the practice of midwives such that it becomes very beautiful for people to think of midwifery and decide to go into midwifery? Nurses can come to town, get a job in a hospital that is big and probably get good fat pay. But for most midwives, except you get a job in a probably federal government hospital, community midwifery is not lucrative. And I see people who are struggling as midwives in Nigeria. Now, what is your advice? Like, how long is it going to get us to get there? And what's your advice to midwives who are aspiring to make a better life for themselves? I know the one thing that led to even starting to look for a job outside of Nigeria is I was no longer satisfied with how much I'm earning. I would earn my salary. By the time I give daddy, give mommy, the money is gone. I'm like, what kind of life is this? After 5 years in the UK, I had to look for better. So how long do you think it's going to take us to get there, to a point where midwives will be comfortable? What do you think is the way forward for midwives and practice in general in Nigeria?
Well, like I said before, what else do you expect from a developing country? So we are struggling with a lot of things, and it is not just in midwifery, but like you said, what actually happens in Nigeria is that they use nurses more as a generic staff. If you're a nurse, you can work in the maternity, you can work in the psychiatry, you can work in generic, you can work, just having that title RN, you're already taken. But as a midwife, Nigeria sees midwife as all you do is to bring babies. That is not what midwifery is. Midwifery is a broad specialty. That is why it's called a specialty. When you talk about infant feeding support, you look for a midwife. Breastfeeding support for a midwife. Dietitian, you look for a midwife. You want to plan for a pregnancy, you're looking for a midwife. You are pregnant, you are looking for a midwife. You are about to have the baby, that is the midwife. You are done delivering the baby, your postnatal is the midwife. The baby needs immunization, it is still the midwife. The baby needs to follow up with the milk and start family food, you still need the midwife. The baby, until the baby grows and wants to get married and have her own children, it is still the midwife. Now, what am I talking about here? Like, Nigeria is not really that developed to know how to develop the skills of their midwives. And that is why when you graduate as a midwife, you are more of cramped to like
Community.
Just working in the health center, getting a government job or going to the maternity. But that is not really what it is meant for. So I think that's basically it. The government has been setting up different programs. Okay. Like I mentioned, the MSS, Midwife Service Scheme. It was a wonderful scheme then that helped to bring out what midwives can actually do. During those years, maternal mortality dropped drastically in Nigeria. Okay, recently we have later after MSS, we had Shopee, subsidy reinvestment program, and under it we have MCH, Maternal and Child Health. It's still the midwives that we are used to support the genital mutilations, all the early marriage. You have children 10 years, 11 years coming into the health center to have babies. You have vaginal fistulas, all those things that government has to invest, and they found out that it's reduced mortality and morbidity rates. And recently, I think the present government is using Empower for health. Yes. So
Okay.
they are doing many things that they can, and it is actually something that will take time. I believe as
Okay.
a developing country, it's going to take time because this is just to impress to these women that they need to get a health care from trained personnel. They've seen one program come and go, they've seen one program come and go, and with time it will impress on their mind. See, I need to go to a hospital, I need to go to a health center, I don't need to be in my home and be practicing herbal, Yeah, we will.
Okay. I like that positivity, and I'm really very low that we get there. Now, let me talk about pain relief during labor. In Nigeria, we used to believe that feel pain during labor, we had to men. That makes me looking back at it now. Okay, so now let's talk about pain relief in labor. What will you advise a midwife coming to the UK, controlling and managing the pain of their patients? Because as little as pain relief may be, is something that can take away somebody's pain. What is your biggest advice to midwife coming to the UK as pain relief in labor?
Okay, my advice to you as a midwife planning to come to the UK is this. You know all your theories, go and review them back into your head. Because Nigeria, we have a lot of theories that we are not practicing.
Okay,
Maybe because they are developing. So, okay, for instance,
it's
things
very
like
true.
using CTGs. You think you hear about CTGs, but you can't see the CTGs.
Yeah.
You hear about using entomox. Yeah, these are the trainings we got back then. But throughout my years in practice in Nigeria, I never saw entomox. But you will see it here. So go back
I only saw
and learn all your theories. Put it in your head. If possible, visit YouTube and watch how these things are done and compare it with the theories you
Yeah.
have, because this is the reality of midwifery
Very
here.
true.
All your
Yes.
theories you will come
Okay.
to life in the UK. In
The
management
talk
of
of
pain, you talk of
I like that.
morphine, you will see it. You will talk of entomox, you will see it. You will talk of, when you talk about positions in labor, you will talk about, all those things that we learned about management of pain in labor. There are things you learn to pass, what's in the midwifery council. Here you see it in action. So that is the advice. It is nothing different. It is the same
Yeah.
thing. It is the same management of pain. The same morphine, those paracetamols, like all those things you already know. Epidurals, but you have to
Yeah.
learn them so that when you come here, you can be able to blend to the system.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, the next thing I want to ask you is about your OSCE. Okay. Now, OSCE, I know we have now disclaimer when non-disclosure whatever when you wrote the examination. But having done the OSCE and having passed it, now when you compare the OSCE you did with probably your final examination as a midwife in Nigeria, will you say it's something close, or is it something they would expect, or do you think they will need extra help in preparing for their OSCEs?
Our OSCE in Nigeria and UK OSCE is the same. You talk through what you're doing. Like, it is the same pelvis that we are talking about. It is the same fetal skull that we are talking about. The difference is color. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
it's the same midwifery. It's the same way that babies come out. Like, honestly. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing. My practical as a midwife, my OSCE as a midwife back then in school, you will be given a scenario. This is a breech baby. I deliver a breech baby.
Yeah.
And the examiner is
Job
there watching
delivery.
you. If you like, be delivering
Yeah.
the breech baby. Don't talk. That one is your business. He doesn't know what you're doing. You have to open your mouth and talk. Talk when the baby is rotating. Talk when the legs are extending. Talk about the hands of the pelvis. talk about what you're going to do, what you're going to be observing, your times of monitoring, your filter hat, you know, you have to be saying it. That is the same thing with midwifery in OSCE in the UK. And then,
Okay.
what the only difference I will say is it's all about you being confident in what you're doing. Nigeria, you might just rattle everything and you pass your exam. Here, they are not interested
Mm-hmm.
in you rattling things. They want to see how confident you are. Do you really trust yourself that you are doing this? Like, you want to give IM and you're shaking and you're not really sure of what you're doing. That's what they are watching. They want to see that you are confident. Even when
Yeah.
the woman is not sure of your practice or sure of
What's
what you want to
happening?
do, they want to see how you can scientifically convince the woman that this is the right thing to
Right
do.
thing to do.
You're not just to do, I came to give you injection because doctor said, it's doctor have wrote it though. Oh yeah, oh, let me give you injection. No, that is not UK. You should tell her what the injection is for. Okay, you are giving it, why should you give it in the you
Yeah.
know, what site are you giving it to? You have to explain everything because these women, they are reading. UK read a lot. They have their internet, they have
Yeah.
their app, they know more than you. There are things that you are there. So you have to know your
You.
audience. If something wrong, they know you did it. That you are a quack.
They will pick it up.
Sure now.
Yes, yes.
And you can be
Very,
sued
very true.
because you did it wrong. And they know that you are doing it wrong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's very, very interesting. That's one thing. The patients here are sometimes they will even ask you questions that you be like, before you answer, you have to think twice and make sure you're giving the right
Sure,
information.
sure. That's
Because
why
what
you
you
have to
say,
read a lot.
they will go back and report and say, I met a nurse. It may even be months after they've left the ward or the hospital. They'll just write the letter management. While I was on admission on blah, 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 matter will start. To start
Mm-hmm.
investigating. So, yeah, so yeah, okay, so let me, what we'll just talk about now. Having done OSCEs at home doing exams, you can always relate that and then relate it to what you're doing here. Last now I want to talk about is documentation. I know we have our style of thing in Nigeria and abroad now at home. And I see the same thing all over, but I believe that there are some pairs of documentation here. Now, how will you compare documentation here and documentation at home?
I would just say that back
Or
in
if
Nigeria we
you
do
want to compare, just
more
say
of hard
what you want
copies.
to.
Yeah, back in
Okay.
Nigeria we do more of hard copies, folders, we carry papers up and down. UK, they are developed, they are not developing, so they have more of these computers, laptops, iPads lying everywhere. So they have a system where you document and just keep your data. It's not like you kept a data and tomorrow fire burnt it and then flood
I'm
came
fine.
and wiped it out and you don't have the data again. So their documentation is also strict. You follow it by time. The baby is delivered by 1 p.m. You impute it. You cut the cord by so time. You impute it. They did this baby past meconium. You impute it. You know, it's not like Nigeria. Like, okay, I came to work. 6 women delivered, and that's it. They fine. The baby has started breastfeeding, and you've handed over. No, it's not done. You have to the details of everything you did and with the time. So it's a more of communication. You have to communicate. The next person coming to take over should see the bigger picture of the patient who left. And as you're handing over, you're not just talking about what is happening now. Okay, this woman just delivered a baby. Okay, we can continue with breastfeeding. No, you have to start from, okay, this is what her blood pressure was when she registered. This is what it is now. This is what her HP is. Is she diabetic? Is she this? Is she that? Is she on medications? You know, if that documentation is not there, that handover will not be possible. So it is strict and you have to learn their method of documentation. That's why when I talk about read, you cannot read without writing. As you're reading, you are writing. There's a lot of things to write, there's a lot of things to read. So we have to get used to it because we're not used to too many readings and too many writings. Yeah.